I just wanted to jump on and talk about a topic today. I'm going to ask the question, are you battling with depression? Are you battling with depression? And if you are, I have great news. I have good news for you. There is hope and there is help. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from a dark place and a dark time in life when I was dealing with depression also. And by the mercies and the grace of God, He turned my captivity. He turned that captivity. And not to say that depression and anxiety doesn't creep up at times and try to knock on my door, because they do. But because of what I know now and the knowledge that I have on what it is and why it occurs, I'm able to deal with it. I'm able to deal with it at the gate instead of letting it come in and just take up house. You know, it's almost like a city. You know, your house is your body is like a city. Just imagine this, okay? Your house is a city. You're a city. And when depression or anxiety or anything, this applies to anything. But I'm just gonna like contrast it with depression and anxiety. Whenever depression and anxiety knocks on the gate, you know, just approach your gate just to see if you're gonna let it in. Because back in the day, whenever I was like dealing with anxiety and depression, I didn't have this analogy. So yeah, it was all up in my city. It was all up in my city, hiding in houses, under bushes, in rivers, climbing up trees. You know, anxiety and depression was just everywhere. It was all over my city, and I had to like, it had to like be rooted out. It had to be rooted out. Why was I feeling depression? Why was I having anxiety? Why? So I had to go through a time and a period where I had to like, you know, pull this stuff down in my own mind. Okay, so you're a city. Your body is a city. So whenever anxiety and depression knocks on your gate, you have to like cut it down at the gate. Don't even let it in. Handle it at the gate, because you are going to have to handle it. It's not just going to go away. You are going to have to put forth an effort to handle it. So whenever it knocks on your gate, or you see it at the gate, and you know that feeling you get, you know, you can just be doing anything randomly and you'll feel like almost like you're being digressed into like a low frequency. It's all, you can feel that. This is what it feels like to me, and I'm gonna try to describe it. It's whenever anxiety and depression is getting ready to occur, and if I'm doing something, I can tell, because all of a sudden that spirit tries to bring me down into like a very low frequency, a very noticeable low frequency. And I'll be like, where is that coming from? Where is that coming from? So that's whenever it's at the gate. That's whenever it's at the gate. It's trying me to see if I'm gonna like raise up a standard and fight it, or am I going to just like say, oh my goodness, I'm depressed, or I'm, you know, having anxiety. Now I'm not talking about just random everyday anxiety or anxiousness or nervousness that you can get just from maybe doing a task, or maybe, you know, you just have butterflies about something. I'm talking about a real issue of not being able to deal with anxiety and depressions. So whenever this anxiety and depression knocks on the gate, it takes you to it begins to like take you into a low frequency. And it's almost like, if you pay attention, and I want you guys to start paying attention to what's going on. Stop being afraid of the attack. Stop being afraid of the attack. It's almost like a bully. It's like, well, I ain't even gonna say it's almost, it is a bully that comes to say roar, you know, just to see if it can like push you down. So whenever, that's just like in school or wherever, a coworker or somebody, if they like, you know, like walking around like they the big bad wolf. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody say nothing to me. You know, you're gonna go by what I say and all this blah, blah, blah. You know, they just have the air of bullying. And that spirit that comes with that, you know, just the rebellion and the unrestraint and all of this, the spirit that they come with already like goes before them. So even when you see them coming, it's almost like that spirit is already like attacking you before they even have a chance to say anything, because you've already had the bad experiences with them. Or even if you haven't had a bad experience with them, it could be somebody who you don't even know. And I've done this before too. I've experienced this number of times in the past. You know, somebody can walk into a room and they already carry like an air about them, like whether they're angry, you can see that anger all on them, or if they are like a bully or whatever, you can just like feel that. I ain't gonna say you can see it, but you can feel it, and you can just tell a noticeable difference. So whenever this anxiety and depression comes and stands at your gate, you're gonna have to like fight it. You're gonna have to stop being scared of the feelings. You're gonna have to stop being afraid of the psychological, and you're gonna have to stop being afraid of the things that this attack is inflicting upon your senses. Because see, that's almost like in the animal kingdom, you know, the animals that are like inject a deadly venom in a person, even if it's something really big, or like a snake. If a snake bites a hippopotamus, you know, and I'm just using this randomly, if a snake bites a hippopotamus, the venom is what goes in and begins to paralyze that animal, so that the snake can like do what it needs to do. And just like a lion, you know, I looked at some clips on lions. Lions, you know, whenever they attack a big animal, they go straight for the jugular. You know, they try to like get that animal, even if it's like way bigger than the lion. The lion will like attack where they know that it's going to like paralyze that animal and give them a way, you know, better chance of winning. So this is what this anxiety and depression does at the gate. It like comes in, and it literally like it comes in and it literally like paralyzes you by messing with your mind, will, and your emotions, and therefore you succumb, because you're so afraid now of what your body is doing, until you don't want to really pay attention to what this actual attack is getting ready to do. Okay? And 9 times out of 10, whenever the attack comes, it comes in and it just like bully you, shakes you up, it rattles you up, it causes you to retreat, it causes you to like lay down in the ball, it causes your emotions to like, or your heart to like palpitate. It just causes all of these different reactions, and then it goes away. It goes away. Whether it be for an hour or a day or weeks, it goes away. But guess what it did? It psychologically made you say, oh my goodness, you know, I'm having these anxiety attacks, and it makes you afraid. That fear factor, it made you afraid. So now the next time whenever you feel it getting ready to like come again, you automatically go into that defense mode. Oh my goodness, you know, I'm getting ready to have an anxiety attack, and you just like allow it to just like do what it do. It's almost like a rat. You sitting there looking at TV, and a rat just come and start tap dancing in front of the TV, and you just sitting there not able to do anything about it because you're afraid of a rat. You know what I'm saying? No, whenever you see that rat, you better like get some resilience, and you better like do what you need to do to kill it. I was gonna say kill that mug, but yeah, you better do what you need to do to kill it. You know, instead of like retreating, because it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back if you just let it go away or whatever, and it probably may have babies and more rats. You know, you would want to just like do what you got to do and not let that rat bully you, and you got to kill it. And I don't want to deal with no rats. I don't want to deal with a snake. One time a snake was in my house years ago in another house, not where I live at now, but unbelievably to me, my resilience kind of kicked in, and I didn't react like I normally would have acted. Well, like I thought that I would have reacted, because I had to like I knew where the snake was going. Like in my kitchen, I knew it had like climbed up, like crawled up under into my pantry area. And I had a friend and her husband came by, and her husband got it out and everything. But I sit there and I had to like watch so I could like monitor where that snake was going. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I handled it better than if I hadn't never had to deal with that situation. My imagination would be like, oh my goodness, if I ever see a snake, I'm going to do, no, I totally did like the opposite. And when I first saw it, I was like, because I saw the back end, the tail of it, and the end of the tail was like the size of my thumb. And I knew that wasn't no rat. And I was like, oh my goodness, is that a snake? So I just like backed up a little bit, because I couldn't see the whole snake, because it was like inside of my dining room, like right there where you go in the door. So I couldn't see the whole snake, but I did see the end of it. So that's when I called my friend, and she was like, D, just come down here. I said, no, I can't leave and not know where that snake is. If I would have did that, I wouldn't have never been able to go back in that house. So her and her husband came by and everything, and he got it out for me. And yeah, so whenever you feel this anxiety coming, whenever you're gonna have to begin to see it for what it really is. Whenever you begin to feel this frequency trying to take you down low, and I'm gonna give you another example before I say that. Okay, you know how if you're feeling like down or whatever, and your favorite song come on, and how you just like hype up and be like, yeah, that's my jam. That's my jam. Or if you're like feeling kind of like bored or down or whatever, and somebody call you and and they be like, let's do this, and then you get that rejuvenation, and your whole mood just like goes up. Your frequency just turns. I mean, it goes to like the 99.1% power. You know what I'm saying? All the way from 0 to 100. So that's what this anxiety and depression does. It takes you down and further down, and it takes you as low as you will allow yourself to go. It takes you as low into that pit as you will allow yourself to go. So with this attack, you're gonna have to like realize what it's doing. What it is doing is it's trying to make you lose even hope that you're going to be able to sustain through it. It's trying to take away the confidence that you're going to remain mentally stable, that you're going to remain emotionally stable. It takes away all of this. So that's where it paralyzes you at. It paralyzes you. I remember whenever I was coming out of, I went through I think it was like a year and a half when I was dealing with this depression and anxiety off and on. But when it would attack, I mean, I could be sitting at my desk and I would just feel this darkness, this power like overtaking me from the back. And then whenever I would feel it, I mean, it would come up like my back, and it would just like come over like this, and I would just like freeze. And it's like it would make everything within me, my nervous system, my arms, my eyes, everything. I mean, I would feel dizzy sometimes. I would just be in all of these different emotional states. But this thing would overtake me, and it would just like, it's almost like it was spiritually, because it wasn't physically there. I mean, it's a physical thing that was in front of me, but it's almost like it would come over me, paralyze me, and just walk around and do what it needed to do to just keep that fear factor going, and then it'll leave. And then I'll be like, what was that? Oh my goodness. And it wouldn't leave like any marks, like I was like beat up or whatever. But psychologically, it left the mark, and I was beat up because I was like, oh my goodness, what happened? I can't, that's what keeps you in that state of defeat. Because it's like, oh my goodness, when is it coming back? When is it coming back? I'm having this anxiety. And then you have to think about your thoughts. What are you thinking about? Where are you at, even mentally and emotionally? Because that 9 times out of 10, your thoughts and your state of existence and your state of being, your environmental things is what's causing the anxiety and depression. Because it's causing it because you don't know what to do to get yourself out. You don't know what to do to get yourself out. And sometimes you know what to do to get yourself out, but you just think that it's a mammoth task and you don't want to do it. Or it could just bring grief, because it might be separation anxieties from something that you're trying to hold on to, but it's just not working. It's just not working. All it's doing is just rendering anxiety for you. And you may not even have it at the forefront of your head. You may not have it at the forefront of your head, because whenever I was going through a lot of the anxiety, my dad was like kind of sicker than, because he had strokes and stuff, but he was now suffering from the congestive heart failure. And I was like going back and forth, like checking on him on the weekends because I lived in a different city than him. So, I'll say a county because we were both in, but anyway, I was going checking on him. I had newly got a divorce. Well, a couple of years had went by, but I had turned, 50. I had to like uproot, and I left the house I was in. I had gotten a new resident. It was just a lot of life changes. It was a lot of life changes. And although I was going through the life changes, days were going by, weeks were going by, months and years were going by. It was a lot to deal with. And because of how I process stuff, I wasn't processing stuff properly. That's the gist of it. I wasn't processing things properly, but so I was just like suppressing some things. And some things I thought I was processing, but I wasn't dealing with it. I wasn't dealing with those things properly. So therefore, they were still remaining outstanding, pending issues that needed to be handled. But I was just dragging them along. So certain triggers would just like remind me of the different aspects of the issues that I was dealing with. So therefore, it would bring anxiety, or it would make me feel depressed, or it would make me feel like real gloomy and down. And I remember even years ago in my 20s, I used to like the word, what was the word? It was, anyway, I'll come back to that if I think about it. But yeah, I would like be triggered. So therefore, the word was melancholy. I just like that word, melancholy. You know what I'm saying? So little did I know, I was in a state of melancholy. I was in a state of melancholy and despondency. I was studying the Word of God and stuff, and listening to some teaching sermons and stuff. And I said, Lord, I said, is it anything in me that I'm dealing with that's like keeping me from totally surrendering to you, to totally, I was just speaking to the Lord. And y'all, when I was asleep in my dream, I remember this right whenever I woke up that next morning, and literally this was like over like 10 years ago when this happened. I wrote it down. This finger appeared in my dream, and it wrote DESPONDENCY. So when I woke up, now I saw the letters, I saw the finger, and then it disappeared. I don't remember whatever I dreamed about after that. But right when I woke up that morning to get ready to go to work, I remember that. And I said, despondency. I said, what is despondency? What is, because I wasn't like really aware of the definitions of even the stuff that I'm talking about now. You hear people talk about it and you think you know what it is, and you do have a gist of what it is, but when you really define that thing and you see the characteristics of that thing, it brings a whole nother level to it. It brings a whole nother level to it. So the Lord had revealed to me despondency, because I had, began to lose hope, you know what I'm saying, in the situation that I was in. It was like, man, this ain't working. I'm trying. Is this my whole lot in life for the rest of my life? Because, I got a divorce and everything eventually, years after that. But divorce wasn't like my first choice. It wasn't a choice for me until the year I got a divorce. Because even whenever I separated, me and my ex-husband separated, I still, wasn't really thinking divorce, because people can separate and maybe reconcile and work things out. So I really, at that point, wasn't even thinking divorce. So despondency was just a part of my life. Melancholy, just walking at a real low frequency. And I don't really like using the word frequency a whole lot, but it is a frequency, because a lot of the new age and the dark side kingdoms and stuff, they use frequencies and stuff, but it is a such thing as a high frequency, low frequency. It's frequencies in music, it's frequencies just all around us all day long. So whenever despondency and anxiety is coming upon you, it has you at this frequency that it's not your normal character, okay? It's not your normal everyday God-given character. You're in a whole total different zone. So I know I've said a lot, but anyway, whenever anxiety and depression hit your gate, you have to say, okay, now you have to trust and believe that the Lord is your provision, the Lord is your hope, because the scripture says that he would keep you in perfect peace. He would keep them in perfect peace whose mind is stayed upon him. And the scripture also says, to be anxious for nothing and to cast your care upon him. So really the reason why we are going through the depressions and the anxieties. Now, I'm not really talking about the chemically induced, when people's chemicals and stuff get off, which you can be healed from that too. But I'm not talking about, those things. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not encouraging anybody to get off of their medicines or anything like that. But I am saying that there is healing, that there is hope. The Lord is the boss doctor. He is your creator. He knows you. He's known you from the beginning, and he knows your ending. So he is able to process you into a healing. He's able to process you into perfect healing. Okay, so there is healing, there is hope. You don't have to stay in a perpetual state of being bullied by anxiety and depression. So tear it down at the gate. Whenever it comes upon you, use the word of the Lord on it. Use the word of the Lord. Now what I would do is whenever it would come upon me, because my thing was, when I was going through that, I thought everything was going to kill me. I mean, whenever I would feel like that, I'm like, man, what is that? What am I feeling? Am I having a heart attack? And is this? And so it brought a spirit of death, like death with it. Where I was afraid that I wasn't going to make it. I was afraid that, is this going to take me out? I was afraid. So what I had to do, now everybody can experience different episodes or whatever, but I think mainly it is a spirit of death, because you don't know what's going on and you have no control over what's going on with you. So it's a threat to your well-being. So that's like a spirit of death. So what I would do, first of all, the Lord had me to start going to sleep, and he would have me to put my headphones on and play the book of Psalms in my ear, where my spirit can just begin to be ministered to and strengthened, even when I was asleep. And sometimes I wouldn't even do it with the headphones. I would just let it play on my iPad, and I would, like, sometimes it would be up a little louder, but a lot of times it was low, because my spirit was still hearing it, and that began to strengthen me. It began to strengthen me. And then the second thing I would begin to do is I would pay attention to what I was thinking, because sometimes I could be riding and I would be like tensed up, and I would be like, I would start like having some anxiety just out of nowhere, and the Lord would say, okay, Dee, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? So I would begin to like pay attention to what I was thinking about. And most of the time, well, pretty much all of the time, it wasn't even a threat. It was not. It was something that my imagination was going way to the left. My imagination was what was like bringing on these onslaughts. So if I would see a cop, because I had a bad experience with a cop and a ticket or whatever before, and I would see a cop and I'd be like, oh my goodness, I hope that cop don't get behind me. And man, for what? For what? Why would that cop get behind me? You know what I'm saying? So it was like that generalized anxiety disorder. GAD, generalized anxiety, where I was just bringing it upon myself. So I would begin to like pay attention to what I was thinking, and things begin to get better, because I would like say, that ain't no threat. Okay, I'm thinking that ain't getting ready to happen. I had to actually go through this, y'all, from A to Z. I had to go through it, all the way from the foundation of why this stuff was happening. I had to like go through the process. And remember, I always say that there's a process to everything. There is a process. So you're going to have to put in the work. So yeah, I would just begin to like think about what I am thinking. So that began to get better. And then I would begin to, if anxiety would try to like come, I would just like just brace myself a little bit. But I said, you know what? I'm getting ready to see what this is getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to see. So whenever it would like come like that, I would just brace myself. And that spirit of anxiety was probably like, what in the world is going on? She ain't even like being like swayed by my moves no more, and then I would be like, no, I cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. And I take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. It would go away. Boom. And I said, okay, I'm figuring out how to do this thing. I'm figuring out. So then it might come again, and it might even like be a little more intense. And I'll say, no, I would live and not die to proclaim the works of the Lord. I just begin to like throw the word on it. I begin to like throw the word, throw them bows on it. You know what I'm saying, with the word, and it couldn't stand. It couldn't stand. The Lord raised up that standard. Because I was hoping in Him again in that area. I knew that I was going to live. It wasn't going to kill me. So that was the main thing that I had to get past, is I'm going to live. This ain't going to kill me. This ain't going to take me out. I will live. So once I articulated that in my head, then it was a game changer for me. It was a game changer for me, because I was like, nah, this is not getting ready to take me out. This is not. So I began to fight it. And now, every now and again, it is still like come at my gate, but I don't let it in my city. I do not let it in. Even if we have to tussle at the gate. If we have to tussle at the gate and then get tired and tussle again, I refuse to let it go any further. I refuse to let it come in and just take root in different places that I have to go in and try to root it out again. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. If somebody, come and they're bringing like a lot of anxiety, I can feel anxiety on them. I can feel it. I can tell when somebody has anxiety, because it'll begin to like be like overpowering. And I'd be like, are you anxious or whatever? They'd be like, yeah, I am. But so I can tell sometimes whenever it's even like in the room, I can just tell, because I've dealt with that spirit. So I can just tell. So yeah, so y'all, anxiety and depression can be overcome. But you just have to put in the work. You have to go through the process, and you have to overcome it. You have to overcome. So yeah. Let's get it right. You know, let's work towards our wellness. Let's work toward healing, and let's work toward being educated on this and what's going on with us, so that we can help somebody else. All right, y'all. Well, thank you, and I hope everybody's safe. And please like and share, and please subscribe. I'm trying to build this YouTube channel, and I want it to be able to help a lot of people. All right, so please subscribe and share. And thank you, and everybody have a good day.